yeah, and I knew there was other people in my family who had divorced and everything, which was perfectly fine. It don't work out, I understand. But now my household was not like hostile or none of that stuff. There was none of that, okay? But I just remember praying, and this is when I was young, because I mean, of course, children going through divorce and all of this stuff, like, they don't really well, I'm gonna speak for myself. I ain't gonna say everybody, but some children, like me, they may not understand fully what's going on, but they understand, like, oh, parents are not together anymore, and that you have to go to this house and that house and all the other stuff or whatever. And so I just knew that I didn't obviously want that, and nobody wants that obviously for their children. So I just knew that, I didn't want to have to go through that. And I knew that just based on other relationships, if that's what you would call it, that would happen, that I would see around me. You know how people just date and they just like date just for whatever reason. They just kind of get together with somebody and then 2 weeks later there was somebody else. Like, I didn't want to have to do all that. For me, I'm real chill. Like, that's too much work. You know what I'm saying? I have to go through all these boyfriends and all that. That's too much work. I don't want all that, okay? So when I was, again, really young, I was praying to God at first for a husband that was like 6 foot. He had to be taller than me. He had to be, like, back then I was really obsessed, not obsessed, but I really had a thing for people with, like, other than brown eyes. So I was just like, that would be nice if he had, green eyes or hazel eyes or whatever. And just all of the checklists, I guess you would say, that people usually, think about when they think about a significant other. Oh, I want him to be funny. I want him to be handsome. I want him to be all of these things, right? And so I probably prayed this prayer, and it switched up, because I remember it switched up every now and then, like, oh, Father, I don't know if I want him to be light skinned or dark skinned, or I don't know if I want him to be this or that. Like, it changed. But I remember the last time that I prayed for my spouse, I said, Father, all I know is that I want whoever you have for me. I want whoever you have for me, because if you created them for me, then that means they're going to be perfect for me. So I don't have to worry about him being funny, him being kind, him being caring, and all that other stuff. I don't have to mention those things, because that's what I would need and what I would want. That I would want somebody who's taller than me, blah, blah, blah. Like, all of these characteristics, right? So I prayed and I said, God, I just want whoever you have for me. I want them to help me to get closer to you. And I want us to be able to grow together. Because I feel like that's, important. Because, again, I didn't want to have to go through 500 different boyfriends just to get to my husband. So I was like, I want us to be able to grow together. And again, I want us to be able to grow closer to you. I want him to bring me closer to you, right? And I remember after I prayed that prayer, I just left it alone. Like, I ain't prayed again. I just left it alone. I let it go, and I left it to God, because I was like, again, God, you know what I want. So why am I over here trying to figure it out? Like, you already know, and they're already here. So why am I over here trying to say, oh God, I want this and this and him and that? Like, no, you already have them for me. So in releasing that, now I don't remember exactly when I prayed that prayer. I just remember praying the prayers, right? But I know I was young, like in probably middle school, maybe just starting middle school, so like maybe 6th grade, 6th grade. I met him in the 6th grade in the first period in a career class that we had taken together. That was like a real chill class. I personally really loved that lady, that teacher. I think her name was Miss Lane. And yeah, it was a real chill class and everything. And then, yeah, we didn't really talk much in there. He was very reserved. Not to say that I wasn't, but he was much more reserved than the other boys that was in there. And so it was more just like oh, hey, how you doing kind of conversation, or greeting, if you would. And that's pretty much how it was all through 6th grade. So then 7th grade, I really don't remember talking to him. I don't really remember talking too much. I think it, again, just kind of stayed on that, hey, how you doing? I remember that he was dating somebody. I think that was 7th grade. That he was dating somebody, and I was so excited for him because I was just like, oh my gosh, and I really liked her too. I was like, oh my gosh, y'all making such a cute couple, blah blah blah, all this other stuff. And 8th grade, we had homeroom together. So it was the first period of the day, I guess. They added homeroom for 8th grade because we ain't had no homeroom before. So anyway, we had homeroom together. We used to sit on opposite sides of the, I think this was the music room. Yeah, it was the music room. So y'all know, like, this was a legit school. And y'all will get the reason why I say this was a legit school. So it was a legit music room, like the way that it had like theater seating. And so I would sit on a little bit towards, one side, and he would sit towards the other side, and with another quiet group of dudes. And so we would, again, just say hi, bye, all this other stuff. And after we left middle school, so the middle school that we went to was a very popular middle school in the neighborhood. It has a elementary, middle, and high school literally within the same, like, not even 2 miles of each other. And so when we went to high school, we ended up, my mama was like, you're not going to that high school, right? I really didn't want to go to that high school anyway. But she was like, you're not going there. So she found this newer, it was definitely newer in comparison, newer high school that was legitimately one building. It was a charter school, and it was one building. And it was just a 2-story building, and it didn't have like a legit cafeteria. Well, I don't know, whatever. I don't think it really had like a legit cafeteria. It ain't had no grass. It was out there on straight concrete. So it was just like huge parking lot. Like, it was just a huge parking lot, and it was just ghetto, okay, to say the least. So, mind you, when I seen the pamphlet, because I went into her room for something, I don't remember, and I seen the pamphlet, and I seen the school name, I was like, what is this? Well, where the heck is this? Because I've heard of the beginning of the school name is Parkway, and so I've heard of the elementary, but I was like, there's a high school? Like, what? So when I was looking at it, I'm like, I don't know this school. I ain't never seen this school before. Whatever. So we get there. My mama, she dropped us off. We sit up in the old school. So she dropped me off, and I remember I had to go like through the front. We had to drop through the front. We had to go through the front, and I think we had to go upstairs to get our schedule. So I remember going through the front, and I seen a couple of girls that I knew from elementary school, but middle school, but I didn't really talk to them like that. So it was just kind of like a, hey, how you doing, whatever, and then about my business. So after I got my schedule, I called my mom because I was just like, you know, I really don't know nobody. So I just talked to my mama. So I'm talking to my mama, and mind you, this was one building. So when I came back downstairs, I was walking into the basketball court, which was right around the corner, probably like a good maybe, I don't know, 20 feet or so, just around the building. And so I was calling her, I was talking to her, I was like, yeah, you know, blah, blah, it's fine, I got my schedule, I do this, blah, 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 I got this and blah. And so, as soon as I cut the corner, guess who was the first person that I seen standing at the gate? I seen my husband standing at the gate of the basketball court. And when I tell y'all I got off the phone with my mama so quick, I was like, oh, yeah, I found a friend. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to my friend. Okay, bye. I was like, I'm good now. Because even though I really didn't talk to Brandon like that, me and Brandon were cool. Again, we were like, he was chill, he is chill. And so it was just like a good vibe, you know what I'm saying? So I'm standing up there, and we just like talking to him. We're like, bro, like, hi, what you doing here? Like, how you even came here? He was like, man, I don't even know where my mama found this place. I don't even, you know, this not where I was, you know, planning on being and all this other stuff. I'm just like, yeah, I definitely ain't expect to see you here, right? I'm not expecting to see anybody there, honestly, because I didn't even know the school existed. So, I definitely wasn't expecting to see somebody that I actually was cool with there, right? So, go on, 6th grade, ninth grade, I didn't even, like, remember 9th grade. We rode the same bus. So this is how we really got closer together, because I found out after 3 years that his house was like 2 minutes away from my mama's house. Well, his mama's house was two minutes away from my mama's house. So we ended up riding the same bus, right? And so that's where we really started to build our relationship, because we started talking more. We obviously seen each other in the morning, night, all this other stuff, whatever, afternoon. And so we got closer as friends and everything, and he really became like a brother to me, right? Because that's how I seen him. I seen him as a brother. Now, in getting closer together, I already knew that he liked me, but I ain't like him. I ain't like him. Okay, I was like, I like our relationship as it is now. And again, you know, just, I guess, comparing or doubting or whatever, I was just like, I don't want to date you and then something happened and then all of a sudden it's a falling out, right? Because my husband used to talk to a lot of people. And I think in 10th grade or so, he was still planning on like transferring schools, so he wasn't really sure on actually staying there. He was going to go to a more well-known kind of school, which was not going to be very good for his surroundings. God knew that. So he ended up staying. So, but all of that, you know, that I'm learning about him and all of that, you know, up in the air type of stuff, that kind of made me even more uneasy to want to date him, because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, you know. And then, you know, we about to go to college and all that good stuff. So I'm like, I don't really know if this is a good thing to do. Well, he had asked me out, let him tell it 5 million times before he asked me out, and I told him no every single time. But on February 14, 2007, I decided,
So you came to your senses?
oh, I came to my senses. I did ask God though. I did ask God, because I was like, God, like, mean, God was pretty much, I don't know if it was me or God, but he was pretty much like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like, it'll be okay. So I said, okay. So I asked him out on I was going to say Halloween, on Valentine's Day of 07. And this boy, when I tell y'all, this man, so I'm on the bus, I come on the bus, we both got each other gifts too. Even though I don't think we asked each other to be each other's Valentine. But we got on the bus, I got on the bus and I was like, I'm nervous and stuff. I'm like, will you go out with me? And he was like, go out with you? What you mean, like, on a date? I'm like, boy, now you know that's not what I'm talking about. I said, are you gonna go out with me? Do you want to be my boyfriend? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay. So that was that. Now, mind y'all, because of our dynamic and everything, everybody else already knew that we was gonna be together, right? But from them, even my ex, right before him, said that I was gonna be with him. And I'm like, wrong with you? How you gonna say that I'm gonna be with somebody else? Anyway, but yeah. So we got together and everything, and it wasn't until recently, probably within like a couple months ago or so, that I really just thought, like, I sat down and I really reflected, and I was like, God answered my prayer very quickly, even though I didn't know it at that time. Because again, I don't really remember exactly when I prayed the prayer, but it's when I surrendered it that he introduced me to my husband. And obviously, y'all know that we're in 2024, so we've been together for a very long time. And so for us, we have grown through so much. I mean, y'all heard the other day on the last testimony about, I mean, you know, being able to go to Canada and doing all of those things, like our puppy dog back here. I mean, all of those things, like, we have grown and been through a lot together. So it has just been an amazing journey thus far. And it's just so, I'm just grateful for God listening. Like, he doesn't forget, even though we may forget, but he listened to every single prayer request of mine. Brendan is taller than me. He is 6 foot. He is chocolate, even though I know he's German chocolate with walnuts. And his eyes are beautiful. Okay, they are beautiful. They are not pretty boy eyes. They are beautiful eyes. So if y'all ever see me like looking at him and telling him to stand in a certain way to where the sun hits his face, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to look at his eyes, right? He is funny. He be making me laugh. As y'all seen when I asked him out, I mean, he already making me laugh. But he also helped me to get closer to God, because when we got together, I wasn't really, I don't think at that time, yeah, I think my sister already graduated. She was gone. Yeah, she was out the house and everything. And so we weren't really going to church like we would before. Because my sister was, what is that? No, it's not 30. My sister is, because she's not no more. She is the more active child. Okay? So she's the one that's in everything and do all, all that stuff. I don't be doing all that. Chill, okay? So when she was really active in the church, we would go to church a lot. But then after she graduated and, went off to college and stuff, we didn't really go as much. So when me and Brendan got together, that's when church and God was really introduced back into my life. Like, I would go to church again. I got introduced to the miming, miming, because I don't call it interpretiveness. I don't think that's what it is. I don't know if that's the technical term, huh?
It's miming.
Yeah, miming. Yeah. So, miming, and it was just like, it was amazing because, again, I grew closer to God through him, which again was another prayer request of mine. So it's just, again, to see how God just answers all of our questions, all of our prayers. Like, sometimes we don't even know that the prayer is already answered and that they're already in front of us. The blessing is already in front of us. It has to wait for the right time, to grow, to meet, for everything to come into an alignment. And so this is why it's so important to, like, trust God's timing and believe that he has heard you, because he did. So that is today's testimony. And I realized today it was such a great day to do this testimony because it's my parents' anniversary today. So it was just, like, so fitting. The testimony of me and my husband on my parents' anniversary. We're going back to where we met. We're going back to Dade County. So I just pray that this testimony bless y'all. Did you want to say anything, Bubba? No? Okay. I did good. I ain't say nothing out of line. I ain't say nothing out of line. Okay, it was all truth then. So I just pray that this testimony blesses y'all.